Very fine.
Umesema audio yako iko na shida?
Siko sawa sasa.
Ilikuwa mbaya leo?
Ilikuwa na shida. In fact, no, ile recording yote imagine sijapokea.
Oh. Leo Donholm ndio stima imerudi. Watu hawajawatch summons.
Very unfortunate.
Basi umeniita unasema aje?
Nilikuwa nasema one mute pastor.
Pastor Caleb alikuwa ameniita.
What I was saying, Maxwell anaendelea kuintroduce wale ambao ni wanaingia. Najua Pastor Walter anamalizia kule kwingine tumekuwa huko.
Tushaongea na yeye.
Ili akimaliza tu hivi akikuja. Naweza anza tuokoe wakati. Kwa hivyo Maxwell mpatie nafasi ya introduce hao wote ambao wameingia. Wala hujatusalimia utusalimie, then as we continue to save on time.
Haya.
Haya, nikawaribisha Gloria. Gloria huko?
Niko.
Sema jambo, salamu. Prayer request. Pastor Jen is about to pray for us as we begin.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon
to you.
Yeah, just glad to be here. Tuendelee tu kuombea hii pandemic. Hiyo tu, because
sawa. Wycliffe Mwachi, karibu.
Makusi. Mzee Makusi naona anajaribu kujoin.
Wycliffe.
Hello.
Yes, karibu sana.
Asante sana. Glad to hear from you.
Asante sana.
Okay.
Karibu Mama Margaret. Mama Margaret, karibu. Karibu sana Amos. Amos. Jambo. Karibu Christopher Mgoha. Nimeona hapa Bush Tito, Ferdinand na wengine wote. Tumefurahi kuwa pamoja na nyinyi wote. I think this time we want to welcome Pastor Jen. Aweze kutuombea, aweze kutuweka hii meeting kwa maombi ili tuweze kuanza rasmi na maombi, kwa sababu bila maombi hatuwezi songa mbele. Karibu Pastor Jen, uweze kutuongoza.
Okay.
Maxwell.
Yeah.
I think audio ya Pastor Jen iko na issue.
Okay. Okay, Amos, tafadhali.
Yes.
Please pray for us as we begin.
Shall we pray? Our Heavenly Father, we thank you, we worship you. We give you praise for this particular hour that you have made in our midst. That Lord, as we listen to your servant, Lord, as he guides us through this topic pertaining our marriages, how we pray the Lord Almighty, we shall be with him, we shall fulfill him with all the wisdom, knowledge and understanding from above. And I pray for each and every marriage that is going to listen to that Lord Almighty, you are going to make a change in the name of Jesus. We give you praise, we give you honor, because there is no other God like you. In the name of Jesus, I do pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Asante sana. Karibu sana ndugu Makusi, karibu Nelly, karibu Ferdinand, karibu Madam Beatrice, karibu Gloria Male, Wycliffe Mwachi. We are happy and glad you are here. We want today to learn about conflict in marriage, and we can see our speaker is here with us. It's a good thing. And as you have shared before, we cannot avoid conflict in marriage, but we can solve the conflict as they come. So it is a privilege for us to be able to learn these things so that we can be able to grow and save our marriages and our families. So I'd like to ask Pastor Caleb to come in so that he can introduce and welcome the speaker of the day, Pastor Walter Bulima from FIC. We are very glad that you've joined us today. Karibu, Pastor Caleb.
Thank you, Maxwell.
Before Pastor Caleb comes in,
Yes.
I would like to inform us that all of us are live on YouTube. So it's good to tell us. Unajua maybe kuna wengine hawataki kuonekana, but I just want to tell us that we are live on YouTube, the church channel. Sawa sawa.
Sawa.
Okay. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pasi.
Okay, thank you. Let me take this opportunity to welcome us all once more. This very, very afternoon, we are blessed to have Pastor with us. I know pandemic, the COVID pandemic is here with us, and we have heard actually what has been happening in families through social media, through electronic media, through print media. We have seen how violence has been actually on the rise, especially so during this pandemic period. So that's why we felt it's very important for us to be able just to sit together as a family of believers, to be able to share on how we can be able actually to resolve conflicts in our marriages. And that's why we welcome our pastor. Pastor Walter is a senior with the Friends Church, Ngong Road. Walter is married. He has a wife and 2 children. Pastor Walter has a master's degree in leadership and is also a continuing student in PhD. So we know he's very well equipped today to be able to serve us this very, very hour. So I want to take this opportunity to welcome Pastor, and so that we can be able to walk along, that we may be blessed together. Pastor, karibu sana. May you please take over from here and continue to take us through this particular session. God bless you as we continue to listen to our pastor. Thank you, Pastor. Karibu.
Thank you. I want to thank the leadership of Donholm for this wonderful opportunity. I'm really humbled to be with us, and I praise the name of the Lord. As you have heard, my name is Walter Bulimu. I'm serving as the lead pastor of the Friends International Center Church on Ngong Road. And through the grace of God, I've been able to be given an opportunity to serve on the Royal Media Services on the matters of marriage and relationship and family, where I've been serving from the year 2012 up to date. So when I was given this opportunity to share with you on matters of conflict resolution in marriage, I was so much humbled. The first thing I would like to bring to your attention is that conflict in marriage is not attached only to the ongoing pandemic. This is something that happens, and it happens, and it is there with us. So I'll take you through what I have, although I shared with Pastor Caleb and Maxwell and Will Height. I told them this is quite a big thing that we should share, take more time to share, but I'll share in summary. And then I'll forward the notes. Already I've forwarded the notes to Will Height and Maxwell. They'll be sharing with you as we progress. Otherwise, I'm so humbled and I'm happy. So let's go to the discussion straight away. I want to say that conflict resolution in marriage. And I want to say that conflict is a disagreement or argument. Disagreement or argument. This is something that people are arguing on, and they bring some disagreements and so on. And this one is brings incompatibility between opinions. And remember, I'm saying opinions because I don't want to say between people, because we may differ in opinions, but we are still the same. We are still there. So the difference should be on opinions. So when we differ or disagree or come up with an argument or incompatibility where we cannot be compatible on certain issues, then that opinion will bring some conflict, and we should stick to the opinion and the problem, not the person who is bringing this. And remember, my brothers and sisters, that marriage is a union of two adult individuals, a man and a woman, who have unique viewpoints. So when you are getting married, you have your own viewpoints, past experiences, frames, and the references, and the values. And therefore, because these people are coming from different backgrounds, different viewpoints, past experiences, frames of reference, and the values, we cannot avoid to have conflict. You are coming with this type of behavior, this type of viewpoint, and these things are there. For example, there are people who are used to getting dinner at 6 p.m. and some are used to getting dinner at 10 p.m. When these people get married, they'll have to struggle because one will say, I'll be taking my dinner at 6 p.m. The other one says, I have to take my dinner at 10 p.m. So these differences in viewpoint and past experiences should not affect our marriages negatively, but should help us to try and work on. But remember, these things are inevitable. I heard a case of somebody who was complaining about the wife, and he said, according to him, his wife should never put on a trouser. And the wife is saying, since I was born, I know the trouser as my best dress or dressing. So these are things that happen, and we should be able to deal with them. So when these people come together, they have different opinions, and they have different ways of talking. And these cases also, they will impact us, and we are supposed to learn how to adopt and deal with these issues. There's somebody called Todd. He's a marriage counselor, and he says that statistics reveal that many marriages either dissolve or are robbed of intimacy and satisfaction because of the couple's inability to effectively resolve conflict. So if couples are not able to resolve conflict in their marriage, in their relationship, there is a high time intimacy will be robbed from this relationship. And the outcome will be people will not be able to live well, and they'll be living in struggles. No matter how good your marriage is, no matter how good your marriage is, at some point, you will find yourself facing the reality that sooner or later, every couple will experience conflict. At one point in your marriage, you'll have a difference. And when you have this difference, the key is not to eliminate it, but rather understand how the spouse's thoughts are, the feelings, desires, and learn how to better and communicate to your spouse. So when you see there is a difference, don't think that your marriage is dying. When there is a conflict, don't think that you have come to the end. In our lives, whether you are a pastor, whether you are a teacher, whether you are a manager, at one point, because you are married, at one point you'll have some differences in your family. So, and conflict is not automatically good or bad. You cannot say that when we are in a conflict, it will be good or bad. But remember, as you grow, we have healthy conflict that generates light, while unhealthy conflicts that generates heat. So when you are differing, remember there is healthy conflict that will generate light, so that you discover the problem that I have in this marriage is this and this, and out of this you can discover ways of rebuilding and redeveloping yourselves. At the same time, it may be unhealthy, whereby it will bring heat, where people will argue, people will talk, people will say some things. But as you continue, remember not to dwell on destructive conflicts, because they'll end up affecting you negatively, and you'll start running away from this. So I want to talk about handling conflict in marriage. Handling conflict in marriage. While we all would prefer to have no conflict in our marriages, occasionally conflict actually provides you with an opportunity to work together. So that this thing has come, it is here with us. If we continue running away from it, it will kill us later on. But if we start learning how to deal with it and work with it, then together we can learn how to handle issues that come in our lives. It is better for us to have a conflict and resolve it than hiding in lies that there is no conflict and in the real sense one person is suffering. Interestingly, having no conflict in a relationship may actually be an indicator that a couple is avoiding issues that need to be discussed. If people will pretend that there is no conflict, somebody is suffering, maybe you are suffering because of somebody not treating you well, somebody not giving you what you desire, somebody not doing what is right, and you find that this thing may bring a problem. So as it brings this problem, it is up to you to discover where the problem is and try and work out, rather than keeping quiet and waiting, and by the end of the day, it will bring a problem. So it is good for you to understand, it is good for you to know that this conflict is there and we can deal with it. So as we handle these matters of conflict in marriage, as we get into conflict and conflict resolution, we should avoid extremes. The extremes where people get into. And I was surprised because I saw somebody in, was it in Kirinyaga or somewhere, where they used glue to seal every open parts of the bodies of their spouse. That is too extreme. I saw somewhere where people are fighting. People stab their partners. I have seen somewhere where somebody sleeps with a knife on the bed. That is too extreme because you have not discussed these matters. And if you sit down and say, we want to discuss this matter and follow them up, it will be able for you not to go to the extremes, because when you get to the extremes, you will always find that one person will suffer. Those who are in conflictual argument in marriage may tend to provoke arguments from time to time. Somebody will be provoking you as a small thing. How are you dressing? What are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And every time you blame your partner, you push your partner, and this may bring issues in your marriage. So as you sit down, while we always know where this individual stands on an issue, they may speak words harshly and put others down. Somebody is struggling and he would like to say something that will put you down. They are trying to push you down. So when these things come, I want to give you something that you are supposed to note when you are responding to issues in your relationship. Number one, respond instead of react. When you discover somebody is hitting you or they want you to go into argument, please respond instead of reacting. Don't be reactive. Think through it through before you do. So when somebody is provoking you or you are finding that an argument is coming, please respond instead of reacting. There's a difference between responding and reacting. For example, where did you put my phone? Respond by saying, your phone is in the bedroom. Don't react by saying, why are you telling me that? Why are you asking me where the phone is? Nini mbaya? Kwani simu yangu umekufanyia nini? That is reacting. Because you don't know what is on that phone. Or somebody may ask you, I have seen a message on your phone. What is this message about? Respond, don't react. Tell them, this is a message from my friend, or this is my colleague, or this is my friend, or this is my so and so. Don't react. So learn to respond instead of reacting. Number two, do not leave the other party in ruins. Pick up the pieces. If you discover somebody is bringing an argument that will bring you down, please make sure that you are bringing this person back. Don't be the one who is hurting your partner. Don't be the one who is making sure your partner is lower and lower. You don't want them to come up again. Please try and leave your partner in peace, not in ruins. Number three, show compassion and empathy. Because remember, you are married to your friend, and this is your friend. So when there is an argument, as you argue compassionately. Argue with some empathy. Show them that you are concerned with their lives. Show them that you are concerned with what is going on. So don't argue as if you want to kill that person, because this is your friend. They're not your enemies. Number four, make it a possible learning experience. Every argument that comes in your family, in your life, make it a learning experience. And please don't repeat it again. As you learn from it, do away with it. For example, if your spouse is complaining about a certain relationship between you and a certain person, learn how to deal with it. And as you deal with it, don't repeat the same thing, because you never know what this thing will bring by the end of the day. Number five, choose to forgive and let go of your offenses. Choose to forgive. In every argument, choose to forgive. Let forgiveness be the end result. Every time that you are discussing and and sharing something that is wrong, somebody has hurt you, let the end result be forgiveness. Because if you don't forgive, then you will be carrying that burden every time. Number 6, when wrong, admit it. It is not easy for people to say, yes, I'm wrong here, especially men. It is not easy for a man to say, hapa kweli nilifanya makosa. Hapa kweli, vile nilifanya hivi sikujua nakosea. But if you know you are wrong, please admit it, apologize, and let your spouse accept your apology and move on. Number 7, remember that it is far better to be respected than to be right. Don't struggle to be right. Struggle to be respected. People are struggling to be right. That is why arguments can take even 3 days. People discussing, and you know you are wrong, but you are trying to convince that you are right. Please strive to retain the respect. It is better to be respected than being right. And then number 8, when there's a conflict and you discover something is wrong, even if you have been hurt by your partner, strive to a win-win resolution. Don't be the winner that I've won this argument. I have won this. Leo nimemweza. Leo nimemweka chini. Leo amejua. Every time when you say amejua ama umemweka chini, remember your person will be recollecting himself or herself. And one day it will bring more problems. So learn to get what we call a win-win solution, a win-win result, so that this one has not been hurt, this one has not been hurt. At least we are together, and I agree I did a mistake, but I did it because of this as this. Okay, I will change in this area, you change in this area, we progress. When we are resolving any conflict, we need to remember that we are not perfect. I think you are getting me. When we are resolving any conflict, remember that we are not perfect. There's no perfect human being. There is nobody who can say, mimi ndio msema yote, ama mimi niko perfect. All of us have weaknesses. All of us have some shortcomings, but don't dwell in your shortcomings. So the people we live with as our spouses are not perfect too. You are not married to an angel. You are married to a human being, and this person is coming from a different background. You are not married to somebody that you think is a perfect, and neither are you perfect. All of us have shortcomings. And paradoxically, those we love are often the ones who most likely to hurt us. People that you love most, people that you respect, people that you work with, people that you feel, huyu mke wangu nampenda, mume wangu nampenda, they are the ones who will easily hurt you. And as they hurt you, remember, they are not perfect. It's not a rare person who does not at some point feel hurt. All of us can feel hurt. You feel let down, you feel betrayed, you feel disappointed, or you feel wronged. And the small things will do this. Jesus provides us with a perfect example of dealing with the conflict in the book of Matthew 27, verse 11 to 14. I think if you get time, you can read that book where Jesus is sharing with us about matters of conflict. So when conflict occurs, be careful how and when you talk to each other. Don't be fast in talking about conflict. You have to plan yourself. You have to sit down and know that when can I bring this matter right? No right answer exists in every situation. There is no right answer in every situation. In every situation, everybody will try to explain themselves. And as they explain themselves, please, remember to be silent, listen to them, and listen to what they're saying, and learn to confront your partner in a loving way. Don't confront them in a bad way by attacking them, by hitting them, by discouraging them, by talking about their weaknesses, trying to look at them as failures. Remember, all of us are human beings, and remember, all of us were created differently, and all of us are able to understand. So I want to share with us some lessons we learned from the model of James chapter 1, verse 19 to 20. I want to give you some of the things that are happening here. The first thing that comes in this book is we are supposed to be swift. When working through a conflict, be swift. And remember that your spouse wants to be listened to and understood as much as you do. So give them room. Be swift and give your spouse some room to communicate. Listen to them. Let them be understood in their weaknesses. Let them be understood. I know they may not be communicating well. I know they are angry, but let them be understood. Most relationships are solved by good communication. When we learn how to communicate well with our partners, learn how to share with them what you are going through, it will be easier for you. Number two, be slow to speak. Most of the time we speak too fast. Allow your partner to explain what they're explaining and be slow to speak. And remember, anger is a bad and dangerous thing that you can have. So be very slow to speak. Listen to him and listen to their words. I know you are frustrated. I know you are discouraged. The conflict is here. We are fighting because of this thing, but be slow to speak. Don't allow yourself to speak, especially when you discover that you are angry. Don't shout at your partner. Don't make noise. Remember, we have levels of conflict. And when you discover that your anger is at the red zone, whereby now you can do anything. Because when you are at the red zone, as they say, your mind may be carried, you are not yourself. You'll find yourself even using weapons. You look for a sufuria, you want to hit your partner. You look for a knife. You want to speak things that are not good. So when you discover that you are at the red point, please calm down, relax. And please, when you come to yellow point, is when now you can express yourself and discuss. You can define your red point. You can define your red zone, your green zone, and your yellow zone, whereby you'd think when you have reached a point where some people in the red zone, they start breathing very fast, they start talking, shaking, some start sweating. When you're at that point and you know you'll do something bad, please withdraw and discover yourself before you shout or before you take anything. Because if you talk at that point, you may say something that you'll regret the rest of your life. If you do something at this point, you'll do something that you'll regret the rest of your life. I know I have a case of somebody who is serving a life sentence in Langata Women's Prison. This lady stabbed the husband, and when she was taken to the police, she said she didn't know the husband was dead. She didn't imagine that she had killed the husband because they were too close. They were friends. And now, because of anger, this one has brought her to that point. I know that people who are serving in prison sentences, they did things that they did out of anger, and right now they are regretting. So please remember to mark your red point, and when you know you are at the red zone, please relax, calm down, and we normally advise people even to withdraw. You can withdraw and do something, or go and do something very difficult. If you have a car, go and wash that car. Go and clean your car. If you feel that you are very angry, withdraw, go in the bedroom and sleep. Withdraw, take a walk, take a run, so that when you come back, you have calmed down and you are able to discuss this matter. Number three, the lesson we are learning from this is be slow to wrath. When conflicts occur, please pray. Pray, ask for God's help in dealing with this so that your feelings are not hurt more. Have an understanding of your spouse, share your feelings, and please control anger so that anger should not bring you down. This is because if you continue fighting in anger, then you will come down, and anger is not a good thing. When you are angered by something, try to identify which of the following are things that are hurting you. Try to identify which are these things that are bringing anger, which are these things that are triggering this anger. And remember, anger can bring so many things. Number one is emotional hurt. When somebody is angry, or something that can trigger anger, is emotional hurt that brings embarrassment, feelings of rejection, humiliation, etc. So when you are angry, you may feel this. At the same time, the person who has angered you may be feeling this. You are hurt emotionally. You feel embarrassed. What I've done is very wrong. You feel rejected. You feel humiliated. And the people like doing this to their partners. You like to hit your partner until he feels emotionally hurt. You hurt them until they are embarrassed. You want to shout their names in the estate or on the plot. People know that this person has done a mistake. They feel rejected. You tell them they are fools. I'm the one who took you to school. You are useless. Or you are doing what? You don't provide anything in this house. You are what? You humiliate your partner. That's a very bad thing. Number two, frustration. Anger may bring frustration, and this one may make somebody to be frustrated, somebody to be hurt. And at this point, people will feel like committing suicide. People will feel like walking away. People feel like they are frustrated. They don't want to do what they've been doing anymore. Number three, fear. You find that somebody is living in the house with a spouse, but they fear that spouse. Ukimwona unaogopa. Kabla ulize kitu umejibu, you are so fearing. You are not relating well with the person because fear has come in. It has taken control. It is good for you to respect your husband. It is good for you to respect your wife, but don't fear them to a point of running away. It's like a student-teacher relationship. It's like a relationship that is beyond control, that when somebody sees the other, they start shaking, they start running away. At the same time, anger may bring or can end up having physical pain. Physical pain is where somebody is hurt, or you stab somebody, or you beat somebody. And as Christians, you don't believe in beating your partner. Don't get to a point where you are hitting your partner, you are beating them, and so on. And another thing is injustice, whereby at one point you feel that it is so sinful, and it is sinful to be angry until the sun goes down. It is sinful for you to be angry until you want to kill somebody. You start imagining the death of that person, wanting to kill them, wanting to destroy them, wanting to burn them with water, hot water. And in the life, people are not living in peace. Everybody is shaken. And at that point, I want to share with you about being keen in marriage on matters of conflict resolution. And I want to say this: conflict resolution should always take the direction of reconciliation and the coming back. In our marriage, when we differ with our partners, we should lead towards reconciliation and coming back to our senses, coming back to where we started. Although at one point it may be too extreme. And when you look at our counseling in marriages, we say that when somebody is threatening you too much, when somebody is beating you too much, when somebody is abusing you too much, they are using a lot of force to discipline you and doing other things, then we allow you to take a break. But even as you take a break, remember, this break should be taken as you reconsider on how you can come back, so that you may come back. And this can be set out through our conversation. We make clear conversation. We have open talks with each other. We need to discuss what is bringing this issue. We discuss issues versus events. What happened here? What went wrong here? We should know what really we are talking about. And essentially, we are supposed to lay layers to most of our conversation, so that we know what events led to this. And we address these events and topic at hand. Don't bring other issues. Address this topic that is at hand. The topic is siku shiba jana. We address the issue of siku shiba jana. The issue is siku pata kitu fulani. We address that issue as it comes. And then we address the issues and look under the surface. Look at it deeply. Open up yourselves. Have meanings and goals. Where do we want to go? Will we want to be rotating on the same issue every day? Discussing the same matter every day? Fighting on the same issue every day? Kama ni chakula tunapigania, ongeza maji kama ni kidogo. Kama ni chumvi, punguza. Kama ni kitu fulani, let us do these things and understand what is this that is bringing us down? What is this that is making us hurt? What is this that is bringing this discouragement? And we deal those things at that level. And when we are discussing these issues, please bring everything on the table. Don't hide some things that you'll bring later on. Let us discuss issues and solve them there and then, that you don't carry some other things forward. Many conflicts are never solved because the spouses are actually arguing about different hidden issues. So we cannot solve this problem because we are discussing about this issue. Maybe the issue is we are discussing about how we can visit my family. And you are reminding me that there is a day we wanted to visit your family and we didn't make it. Those issues are supposed to be there. And remember, our families are equal. We should treat them equally as we work on our areas of our relationships. There's a story that is very common. There's a mother called the son and told them that I'm sick. I want you to come home because I'm feeling sick, and I want you to come and be with me before we monitor how my health is. So the wife told the husband told the wife, our mom is sick, let us go and see her. So they left. They started the journey to go to where their mother was. And as they were going, this man said, we should buy something for our mother because our mother is sick. So they were buying some items on the road as they go. And the woman was saying, oh, don't buy this. Don't buy this many cabbages. Oh, don't buy this. Don't buy a lot of sugar. Don't buy so many packets of milk. Don't buy so many packets of flour because, you know, we are just going there, you know, these people. So they drove. And unfortunately, when they were going on the road, they passed where the man's home was. So this woman said, "Where are we going?" And the man was telling him, "We are going to see our mother is sick." "Which mother?" He said, "Our mother is sick. We are going to see our mother who is sick." Fortunately, they were going to see the mother to the wife. Now, this woman was embarrassed because he was buying small things, knowing we are taking to my mother-in-law, but now they are taking to the mother. What embarrassment is that? This means that there is no equal treatment. And when we are discussing issues pertaining relationships, pertaining conflict, we should put everything on the table. We discuss issues from point A to A. When we are going at our place, this happened. When we are going to this place, this happened. When our people come, you behave this way. When our people come, we behave this way. And remember, time like this, when people are in the house, now the COVID-19 has brought us in the house, we may have so many conflicts because now we are together. You'll have a problem in communication. You'll have a problem in finances, a problem in what. And when these issues come, they may bring issues of stress. They may bring depression. They may bring anger. They may bring so many things, fatigue, burnout, and so on. When these things come in our life, there are high chances that we may have conflict, and this conflict may affect us negatively. So when you are discussing issues, put everything on the table and let us discuss. There are two types of conflict, and I want to go through them very fast. The first one is solvable and perpetual conflict. Solvable and perpetual conflict. When choosing to marry a particular person, remember, marriage is done by choice. Unless this long time ago when people were matching couples, but this time you do it by choice. Remember, when you are marrying somebody, there are some things that you are marrying that person with, and some things in her or him may change, and others may not change. So when you are getting into marriage, remember, we have some unsolvable problems you will be dealing with for the rest of your life. And that is why we encourage people to do, to learn and understand your partner more as you get into marriage. So some of these things may be solved, some of them may not be solved. While perpetual problems cannot be solved, it is important to manage this conflict, or it will lead to gridlock and emotional disengagement within the relationship. So remember, some of these things are there and you cannot be able to need. Let me share with you some of the solvable conflict, some of the behaviors of solvable conflict. Number one, it is situational. Solvable conflict is situational. Maybe one day your wife is preparing food and they put a lot of salt. That is situational. That is just once there and it comes and goes. Maybe you meet your husband somewhere. He's sitting in a compromising situation. It may come once and go. That is situational. Number two, it is less tense. You don't need a lot of problems. It is not too tensional. It is just something that you can talk over and deal with it. A message has come on the phone. It is from a stranger. You can just discuss it that way. It's simply about a topic. So these solvable conflicts about a specific topic. This topic's about this. We have differed about this. We can solve it right now. Talk about it. A solution can be found there and then. You can say, oh, this is a solution. Let us do it this way. I'm sorry, I'll not repeat again. Number five, a solution can be maintained. Oh, I'll stop talking to them. I'll stop going there. That's a solution. Number six, solvable topics for one couple can be perpetual for another. So that as you continue solving this thing, it may develop into perpetual again. Because there are some people and tell them, leave this friend. It's not easy for them to leave. So because they have refused to leave this friend, it may develop and become perpetual. And when a conflict has become perpetual, now this one means, number one, it centers on fundamental differences in personality or lifestyle. For example, a lady who is used to putting on trousers, and now the new husband wants her to remove the trousers and put on a skirt. She finds it to be very difficult. Somebody who does not eat mrenda, now it is bringing a conflict because I'm used to mrenda and my partner does not like mrenda. These are something that somebody has, lifestyle, the way where you visit, what you talk, what you eat, what you do, your lifestyle, what you like doing when you are alone. Those things are perpetual conflict that it is not easy for you to deal with them once. Number two, generally, more tense. When you get to this point, you discover that perpetual conflict is more tense because it is something that somebody is living with, and you try to tell them and they don't. For example, we may use an example of anger. There are some people who can be angered by anything small. Anything small, it hits them and they get angry. Anything small, it hits them and they are angered. So you should learn how to live with this person, because if you continue correcting them in that area, it becomes tense. There are some people who are used to walking. They leave the house at 6. They just go around walking, visiting people. They come at midnight. There's nothing they're doing bad, but they're just walking into people's houses, visiting, doing what? People who like hanging out. Your wife wants you to be in, your husband wants you to be in, but you just like hanging out. These are problems that maybe you grew up with, and it may bring you a problem. Number 3, deeper meaning behind the position. So one of the behaviors of perpetual conflict is there is a deeper meaning behind what is there. If you look deeply into it, you'll discover something has been inherited, or something that he learned, somebody learned when they were young. So there's a deeper meaning, or they are doing this to achieve this. There is something out of that. Number 4, the conflicts keeps coming. So you discuss about it. You tell somebody, tomorrow, I request you come home early. They say yes. From today I'll change. I'll be early. And then the following day, tomorrow they'll become early. The following day they come early. After 1 week, they go back to the same behavior. So it keeps on coming back. So you should understand which type of conflict you are dealing with in your partner and know how to deal with it. It is good to understand someone you are marrying, and remember there are some things you cannot change in that person. Although we are striving to make them change, but you'll adapt them. That's why we have what we call adaptive, whereby you adapt the behavior of your partner and you try to work out on how you can suit in that behavior. Work out on how you can deal with them in that behavior. And these behaviors can be reoccurring. You try to avoid them, but they reoccur. At this point, we call for prayer. Pray for that person, because maybe they're addicted in certain behavior. You didn't know before, now you are knowing that they're addicted in this thing. You can pray for them. You can put it as a prayer request, and you should consider that all these things can end up affecting you. So quickly, I want to get you to some things, and then I'll go to the other areas. You have to consider the following. When you are dealing with these problems, acknowledge the problem and talk about it. Anytime you discover there's a problem in your marriage, acknowledge the problem and talk about it. Don't be quiet. Number 2, remember that negative emotions are important, and hold information about how to love each other and better. So when you see somebody is holding negative emotions, please talk to them. There is something that they know, and this is coming out of love. Number 3, seek to understand each other's objective realities. Understand what is the subjective reality of what is going on. Number 4, keep to approach the problem with good humor. Sometimes you need just to approach a problem with good humor. Don't be so rigid. Don't be so tough. Laughter may help you to reveal many things. Communicate acceptance of your partner. If you discover you are wrong, please say, yes, I'm wrong in this place. Number 6, do not forget to continually build friendship within your marriage. Make sure that you are building friendship in your marriage, that your spouse does not look like a stranger. But remember, every time be aware of destructive conflict. These are conflicts that will bring you down, that will destroy your marriage, will destroy your relationship. It may reoccur, and it is an alarm that you are not doing well. Some of the indicators of destructive conflicts are escalation. They grow very fast. They escalate. Maybe you are talking pole, you start seeing negative things coming, they go up, up, up. It leads to frustration, it leads to increase in anger, it leads to war. That is an indicator. Number 2, invalidation. Invalidation is destructive. You don't value your partner. Hata afanye kitu kizuri, you don't consider that. Hata afanye nini, leo amejaribu amekufanyia kitu kizuri, you don't see that. There's no way you can say thank you. There's no day you can say I appreciate. There's no day you can say this is a good thing that you have done. Every time you see negative things. Number 3, negative interpretation. Every time when your partner is speaking on the phone and you see that there's a name of a man or a woman, you handle it that way. Mbona naongea na wanawake? Negative interpretation. Anything You see negative things in that person. You see negative things in that person. And then number 4 is withdrawal and avoidance. When you reach to a point of withdrawal and avoidance, you should know that you have a problem, whereby you are talking to somebody, they're not responding. You withdraw some services in the family. You withdraw, maybe you are buying food, you no longer buy food. You withdraw relational issues in the family. This point is very dangerous, and it can bring issues in your family. So work on them before it becomes destructive. Work on everything before it becomes destructive, because as conflicts becomes destructive, it is not good. So resolve every conflict as it comes. I want to share with you some of the roadblocks to resolving conflicts. Some of the roadblocks that we can encounter as we resolve conflicts. Number 1, we need to identify some of the roadblocks for effective conflict resolution. And the biggest potential roadblock is our attitude. Please learn to deal with your attitude. Some people are good, but their attitude towards solving a conflict is not good. It is not good. I think I have jumped most of those things, and I've gone to roadblocks to resolving conflict. Some of those things. So attitude is very important in conflict resolution. There is nothing as bad as when somebody is talking to you, you want to resolve a conflict, and you are ignoring that person. Your attitude is different. Maybe you are just on your phone. Maybe you are just watching the TV. Maybe you are doing other things. Attitude is very important, because it will bring a lot of resentment, a lot of anger. Somebody is trying to talk to you and your attitude is far away from them. Number 2, a roadblock is lack of skill in common communication. Lack of skill in common communication. You don't need to go to school, but you need to understand how to communicate with your partner. You need to understand the language of your partner. Understand how to communicate common things. Understand how to deal with common issues. And this one will be able to help you. Now, I want to give you the keys, 3 keys to conflict resolution. 3 keys to conflict resolution. Key number 1 is timing. Is timing. You need to have good timing in every conflict. Good timing. Don't just attack somebody there and then. Please, you can bring war. Time. Let that person calm down. Let them relax. Understand what is going on. Read their mind. Understand their lives. Understand where they are. Remove them from the red zone. Let them come to the green zone before you start attacking or talking about the issue. Because you can talk about the issue and you discover your timing is wrong. When the timing is wrong, it will bring escalation. And when escalation comes, remember, it is easy for you to enter into war. And by the end of the day, somebody will be hurt. He may be hurt verbally. You may hurt somebody even physically. So timing is very important in conflict resolution. It is not a must you ask that thing that time. It is not a must you handle that thing that time. You can give it some time. It may be even 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, or even a day. Relax and get good time. Number 2 is trust. When we lose trust, when trust is lost, then remember everything is lost. So for you to be able to get into this, the next key is trust. Do you trust your partner? And does he trust you? So when you are raising this issue, do you think that you trust each other? Do you trust your partner? Do you think there is trust between you? Because when trust is lost, then it is not easy for you to discuss the same thing. For example, if it's a matter of immorality in the family, and the first day you are caught, the second day you are caught, the third day you are caught, trust is lost. It is not easy for you to convince your partner that this thing I was just doing for the sake of it. Even if a strange message will come on your phone, it is not easy for you for your partner to trust you. So we are supposed to rebuild trust for us to be able to do this. And then the third thing is transparency. Many marriages are dying because of lack of transparency. We are not transparent to each other. We are not open to each other. I know we are solving so many issues in our churches and in our communities. And how can somebody own a property in Nairobi and the partner does not know? How? How on earth? How on earth can somebody own something or have a vehicle and your partner doesn't know? How on earth? Transparency. because people have lost transparency. People are doing things on their own. People are not living like married people. People are doing things on their own. They don't want to say how much they earn. They don't want to say where their money is going. Your wife knows you are going on duty, but every time you complain about money, I don't have money. I cannot buy this. I cannot buy this. So put your pay slip on the table. Put your income on the table so that you have transparency. So that when you will get into a mistake, they'll be able to understand, I know what my husband earns. If you are transparent with your friends, let your wife know your friends. Let your husband know your friends. Be transparent so that when a conflict arises, it is easy for you to be transparent and discuss with them. Tell them, I told you so and so. It's my friend. I told you I was talking to so and so. This one will help us to solve conflict. But when you have hidden things in your life, it is not easy to convince your partner. If you have some things that you are hiding in your family, in your life, it is not easy to convince your partner. Let me conclude by talking about conflict resolution guidelines. Conflict resolution guidelines. Number one, do not avoid conflict with silent treatment. Don't assume. Don't act in marriage. It is better for you to speak out. It's better for you to know, your partner to know where you are hurting. So don't use silence, because silence, the more you become silent, the more you are leaving your partner confused because they don't know what is hurting. Number two, keep your resentment current. When we are discussing and we are solving a problem, let it be today. Don't bring other issues that happened in 1982, things that happened in 1992, things that happened when we were wedding, things that happened when you did this. Oh, unajua hata ile siku ulifanya hivi nilikasirika, ile siku ulifanya. No, let us discuss current issues that are here now and now. Number three, be willing to accept responsibility for your mistakes. As I said in the beginning, we are not perfect. So be willing to say, yes, I know here, nilienda sana. I know here, I did a mistake. So be willing to accept. Number four, give each other permission for a time call out. Sometimes when you are discussing issues, you find you have gone too much, somebody is hurting, they want to cry, they want to sob, give them time. Or somebody is too high, let them rest. We have time out, then they'll come back and you continue with the discussion. It's not a must you finish that thing there. You can have a timeout and then you come back and sit again and discuss. Number five, speak the truth and with love. When you are speaking, speak the truth with love. Don't just hurt. Speak it with love. I know he has done a mistake. Please speak it with love. Remember, this is your partner. This is your friend. The person you value, please value them. Even when you are low, value them. When you are anger, value them. When they hurt you, value them. When they have done a mistake, speak that mistake with a lot of love. And remember that this life that we are living, God has put us together with a purpose. So when we do these things, God will help us to understand on this thing. The biblical directives for conflict resolutions. Number one, remember that conflict will always be there. We cannot avoid conflict in marriage because we are coming from different backgrounds. Number two, active listening. It is good for you to listen actively to your spouse. Number three, guard your tongue. Be able to guard your tongue so that you don't speak anyhowly, things that don't matter. Number four, resolve anger. Fight with the anger in your life so that you may deal with that anger and deal with it appropriately. Remember, forgiveness is essential. So as you continue arguing and talking, remember forgiveness is essential in everything. Even if you are different to a point of hurting, remember forgiveness is very essential. And then number four, and number six is disagreement will happen. Disagreements are there, and let us hold on and pray that God will help us. So during this time of the coronavirus, things are happening in our families. As conflicts come, remember we are here and God will help us to go through all these things accordingly. But when we stand together in prayer, seeking God, helping our partners and working with them, it will be well. In conclusion, I can say we cannot avoid conflict in marriage, but we can solve the conflict as it comes. So that when it comes, we deal with it, handle it there and then, and then move on. And as we move on, God will help us and God will bless us. I think I've done this in summary. I'm sorry I was too fast, but that's what God enabled me to do in the few minutes I was given. praying that I know this is a very big thing that can be shared for even 1 hour and so, but thank you very much for this opportunity. I think we can allow people to ask questions, or we can open a discussion on this matter. Thank you very much. May God bless us.
Thank you very much, Pastor. Asante sana. This is a very good and elaborate presentation. If you have any questions, I think we can direct us on how to go about it. It is time for us to bring in our questions and any comments. Karibuni sana.
Thank you. If you have a question to our speaker today, just raise your hand with your gadget. There's an icon for raising a hand, and then we shall pick on you to ask your question. Questions?
Meanwhile, I would like to, as we prepare our questions, I'd like to welcome all of us who have joined. I would like to invite Ben Simiu just to invite us, the visitors that we have here as we continue.
Ben? Ben Simiu? Ben Simiu ni kama anakunywa chai. Tuendelee.
Any questions? Or if you don't know how to raise your hand, you can unmute yourself and shoot the question.
No, they can't unmute themselves. I've muted them from my end.
Okay.
So unless I tell them to unmute. Jen Harvey has a question. Let me pick her. Just a moment, Madam Jen Harvey. Carry on, Jen Harvey.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My question is, Pastor said we should not use silence. And I'm wondering, maybe your partner doesn't want to listen to what you're saying, and you don't want to bring a quarrel. So the best thing is for you to avoid a conflict. Some of us switch to silence. We don't want to bring problems, so you keep quiet. So I don't know how that can work.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think Jen Harvey is a member of the Friends International Center Church. Welcome. I want to say this. If you are silent, your partner may not know what is hurting you, may not know why you are hurting. So it is better you tell them so that he understands or she understands what is hurting you and why you are hurting than being silent. Because if you are silent, you will die yourself. It is better to share with your partner, tell them, this is my problem, I'm suffering here. When you did this, I was not happy. Please, I'm hurting and I don't like this. So that you share with them rather than being silent. So he continues with his life or her life and they don't know that you are hurting. So why can't you tell them so that they know that you are hurting? Why can't you share with them so that they know that you are not happy? So that, because the purpose of marriage is happiness. And if you are not happy, then let your partner know why you are not happy rather than keeping quiet. And by the end of the day, you are the one who is suffering. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other question?
If you can't raise a hand with your gadget, we are seeing some faces. You can just raise your hand. I can see you.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a question on the chat. From Judith.
There's a question from Judith Nandikove, and he's saying, thanks, Pastor Walter. My question is, when the conflict is destructive and it has reached withdrawal and avoidance, especially to a Christian couple, how can you help them? That is Judy Musi from Friends Church, Donholm.
Thank you very much. Destructive. You know, sometimes we have people who are living, you know, let me say this before I answer that question from Judith. in our culture, in our tradition, in our beliefs, we have raised the bar to marriage to be too high. And the marriage bar has been put too high for people. You know, when you differ with your wife, even myself as a pastor, or somebody elder in the church, or somebody who is respected in the community, when you differ with your partner, people will not understand. People will not understand why Walter has differed with the wife. People will not understand how Pastor Mukabwa can differ with the wife. So what happens is Mukabwa or Walter will live in the house struggling with something. And maybe they're struggling, people have, every time they are being beaten, every time they are being hit. I'm not saying I'm being beaten, by the way. I'm just saying, for example, don't say that Walter is being beaten. For example, somebody's being beaten, somebody's being hit, and they endure for the sake of the community. They endure for the sake of the society. And remember, the person who is suffering is this woman who is being beaten every morning. When they wake up, they tell them, maisha ya ndoa ni kuvumilia. Maisha ya ndoa ni kuvumilia. Remember, these are destructive conflict. Somebody is being beaten. She has lost her teeth. She has lost her leg. She has been stabbed. She goes to the hospital every Monday. What is the problem? Being beaten by the wife, the husband, being beaten by the wife. And when she tells people, I'm being beaten in the house, people tell them, vumilia. Mambo ya nyumba ni ngumu, vumilia. And at this point, I think the government has allowed that at one point, if you are living in an abusive marriage, it is good for you to take a break. It is good for you to take a break, even as a Christian. It is better you take a break than losing your life. It is better for you to people may not understand why you are doing this, but it is better for you to step back a bit and take some time out, solve that problem, then come back. So when you see people who have decided to come out of their relationships, please talk to them nicely. You'll discover there is something that is happening. But as Christians, we encourage prayer, we encourage discussion, and before you quit, share with your best couple. If you did a wedding, share with your family, discuss with the other partner's family, talk with them, let them know what you are going through. Let people talk to this person or talk to you people. If this thing is solvable, it is okay. If it's not solvable, then one can take a break and come back. But what I'm saying is, our marriage or marriage relationships, the bar has been put too high, whereby people are suffering, people are crying, but they are crying in silence. They are weeping in silence in the name of saving their marriages. But in the real sense, people are suffering. So please understand what you are going through, reflect on it, talk to your partner, tell them how you are suffering. Kupigwa, we sio mpira ya kupigwa kila siku, talk and discuss and be able to solve this problem. And if you feel it is becoming life-threatening, if you feel you are being harmed emotionally, psychologically, you are not happy, you are being hurt, you are being beaten, we allow a break as we solve the problem.
Thank you.
Thank you, Percy, for that. Any other question? I don't see a question in the chat section, neither am I seeing a hand. Wilkins leo amenyamaza sana. Chairman ni Shimuka Club.
Birika Club.
Birika Club. Chairman Wilkins. Dr. John Logedi has a question. Kindly, Dr. John Logedi, unmute yourself and ask. Dr. John Logedi.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much, thank you, Pastor Bulimu. I think this has been a very wonderful session. And I think my concern would be, as a church, how can we be able to have frequent sessions, especially on matters to do with the conflict in relationships, so that we are able to maybe to prevent some of the issues we see, where it's like couples we thought were some of the best couples in relationships, you only hear that one of them has killed another or they've gotten into problems. Then in your opinion, what would you be considered, that things are bad? so that as you mentioned, someone can take a break, and maybe taking a break in what form? Is it leaving the home, leaving the house, looking for some separate accommodation? And how will people be looking at that? So and so has taken a break. So what would be some of the telltale signs that when it reaches here, then the bar has been crossed and things are very bad, and therefore we should be able to seek some help? And also in the church itself, I know a lot of these responsibilities sometimes is given to pastors to try and solve some of these issues. But my main concern is just prevention, or as these issues start coming up, being preemptive and trying to ensure that the relationships can always be brought back on track in good time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Daktari. Thank you for your input. I think the church can organize these matters to do with the conflict in marriage regularly. Clark Ben is listening, and also the team from Gong Road can be listening. We can organize this so that we continue discussing this matter. About as I said, the marriage bar has been set too high. It is too high. And for example, I think I'll not be happy when I discover that my sister is saying, I want to come back home. I'll try every means to talk to her and tell her, please persevere. But in the process of persevering, you may not know what she's going through. And this marriage bar has been set too high, and it has left some couples or some spouses going through very difficult times. People who are being beaten every day, people who are being threatened every day. And because they fear to step out, because they want to keep the name of the marriage, it brings a lot of issues. Some of the indicators that will make somebody to take a break are, number one, if you discover your partner is threatening you to a point of wanting to kill you or harm you, please take a break. I know there's a couple that we were counseling, and the man told me one day as he went to sleep, he found the lady had put a knife in the pillow. My friend, kisu kwa pillow, my friend, kisu si ya kulalia, kisu ni ya kata nyama na mboga. So ukipata kisu kwa pillow, shuka hiyo gari, hata kama inaenda. Tafuta kitu ya kufanya. Number two, there are people who are beaten every day. Being beaten is religion. When a husband comes in the house, you greet them, they beat you. They hit you, they kick you, your ribs are broken, they are broken, your cheeks are broken, your hand is broken. What are you waiting? Those are very bad indicators, very serious indicators that this thing is not doing well. Another thing is even the threats. Somebody telling you, he wakes up and tells you, siku moja nitakuua. One day I will kill you. Endelea kaa hapa, one day I will kill you. That's a serious indicator that things are not working well. Threats. I'll poison you. I will hit you. Those are not good things. Another indicator is when there is total fear and you feel that you are not safe. A lot of fear, a lot of tension, and you feel you are not safe. Then we can easily say things are not working well. You are supposed to be comfortable in your house. But every time when you go to your house, you sit next to a door, ready to run away. Your chair is just next to a door because you don't know what will happen. Any minute, anything can happen. So your chair is next to the door. You are ready to jump out. So be sure that when that point comes, it's a serious thing. It may be physical. Another one is emotional, being abused, being told bad things. Somebody's abusing you. You look like a rat. You look like what? Every time you are abused and you come low every day, you are being abused today. Tomorrow you are being abused, the same things. That nothing good is seen in you. You are being put down every second. Those are very bad indicators that you are not comfortable. Because in marriage, you are supposed to be mentally comfortable. You are supposed to be socially comfortable. You are supposed to be physically comfortable. You are supposed to be emotionally comfortable, psychologically comfortable, so that you are free in your house. We differ, yes, but I'm free. I can do some things in peace. I can sleep in peace. I can do my activities in peace. That one shows that you're okay. But if there's tension, fear, and everything, then that is very dangerous. So what do we do? Number one, if you feel you are threatened, you can take a break by coming out of the house and find a separate accommodation. Maybe you put up with your relative, put up with your friend, or you get another place where you can put up, and the matter should be resolved through the channels that are there. And if this person is ready to change, then you can go back. And if they're not ready to change, you can keep on discussing as you wait upon the change that you are looking for. Another thing that you can do is that you engage people. You engage the church, you engage the community, let them know what you are going through, so it does not come out to be a bad thing. Remember the story of Mwende in the year 2014, the one who was cut her limbs, I mean. Mwende talked to the pastor told her, please go to the house and persevere. Go to the house and persevere. Now Mwende was cut. She lost her hands. Now she's handless. Look at that. So it is good for you to understand that this is a bad stage and you can make a decision. So put up with somebody and so on. According to the church, we'll come up with the forums, discuss this matter. But it is true that in the church we see this matter, and it is in the docket of the pastors to address, to do counseling to the members, and we open our offices to people who like to be talked to. Our offices are open and we can share with them. Thank you.
Thanks, Pastor Walter. There's a question from Pastor Ben. I've seen your hand. I'll pick you after asking this question. What is your advice to pastors or church leaders who insist on to the couples in conflict that Christianity doesn't allow separation?
Christianity, the Bible says God hates divorce. God hates divorce. But the Bible does not say God does not allow divorce. He hates divorce. But we cannot put our life online because we want to keep a relationship that is not working. Even personally yourself, you cannot ride in a bus that you know it is going to cause an accident. Life is precious. There is no spare part for body parts. There's no spare part for your hand, for your head, for your nose. There's no spare part for your ear. Life is precious. And because life is precious, that is why is it that, Wilhite, when you are traveling to up country, you cannot just ride on any other bus? You identify a good bus that is safe to take you to Western. Why is it that when you want to go to town, you ride in a safe matatu? Why is it that when you want to go to town, you have to repair your vehicle? When you want to go up country, why do you replace brakes for your vehicles? Why do you do mechanical checkups for your vehicles? You want to be safe. The same thing in marriage. You want to be safe in marriages. We want to live lives that are comfortable to us. We want to live comfortable in our houses. So if I discover I have a problem and my life is in danger, I better quit and identify another route to reconciliation than remaining there and losing my head, than remaining there and losing my life, remaining there and losing my hands. So the Bible says God hates divorce, but as much as God hates divorce, my friend, if your life is in danger, you can identify a way of saving your life. So those who are saying that, oh, don't leave, God hates divorce, God does what? It is better you save your life, and as you live in repentance, God will give you guidance. In fact, Jesus said that in Matthew chapter number 19, he talks about divorce, and he says that you can divorce your partner only if there is immorality. But now we have gone further and say, because maybe during the days of Jesus, there was no domestic violence. Now we have domestic violence. Now we are saying you can divorce if you feel your life is in danger, if you feel there is immorality, if you feel you are not at peace in your house. It is better you live at peace, you live in peace, and you live your house, your life fully in peace than pretending to be in peace and you just want to please people. I know many church elders, I know many pastors, I know many Christians, they want to please people that my marriage is working and it is not working. You just want to live in pretense. Every time you are living in pretense, my marriage is working, and people know that you are struggling. It is better you make a decision that will help you to save your life.
Thank you, Pasi. Many questions are coming in, but let me take, I'll take Ben Simiu's hand, then Bush Tito, then I'll ask Yvonne's question. So Ben Simiu, kindly unmute yourself.
Am I on?
Yeah, you on?
Yeah, I want to thank all who are here. I want to thank Pastor Walter for the good presentation. I also want to appreciate our visitors who are on board, Wilkins from Kadara, Gift Kabete, the FIC team, and many others. Asanteni sana for creating time to be part of this noble initiative.
Well,
now,
Ben,
yes.
Ben, FIC is your wholesale one.
Yes, I know. I know. Perhaps maybe at the end of we can give them what?
No, there's no problem. No, just kidding.
Towards the end of the session, you'll give them maybe a chance to just say jambo to us. I know you're Pastor Demesi and team here. Now, my comment is about one of the ways that we can use to resolve conflicts. We have doctors here like Logedi Sekutsu. They have something they call prevention is better than cure. Now, can that mantra apply in our setup, whereby one of the ways to resolve conflicts in marriage is to make sure that we prevent those conflicts? Now, how do we prevent those conflicts? By investing in marriage. Now, in as much as all marriages are bound to have conflicts, but most of the marriages with conflicts have got very weak foundations. If we invested properly in marriages by counseling and preparing our young people so they make the right choices and have solid foundations for their marriages, will that be a way of minimizing conflicts in the long run, in the future? You know, I was in a sermon at FIC the other time, and we're being told that some young people, do things that are for tomorrow, today, instead of preparing properly for the right time, doing the right thing at the right time. So perhaps I would want to hear from the clergy, Demesi and Mutoro and Caleb, whether if we prepared our people correctly for marriage, then we will end up having fewer problems to deal with in marriage. Thank you.
Pasi, hold on. Just to that one, let me take Bush Tito's son. Bush Tito.
I'll forget that one.
Andika chini.
Kalamu iko mbali, my friend.
Andika chini. Bush Tito.
Hello.
Yes.
You get me?
Hello.
Yes, we're getting you, Tito.
Thank you very much, Pasi. That message was timely. I'm referring to one of the effective ways in conflict resolution, as you mentioned, time. I believe this is the biggest challenge when it comes to conflict resolution, because you mentioned that you should try and move your partner from the red stage or the red line to yellow. Then by the time you're reaching green, you can bring up the issue. I believe this one, depending on how someone was raised up, it is the biggest challenge. So the best thing is just to deal with it hapo without really waiting for you. You wait for the mood of the partner to change, or maybe you try to change it for you to create the best environment for this to happen. Rather than doing this, you will end up, referring to it later on that, the other day you did this and I didn't mention, So the best thing is hapo, finish with it. Don't wait for the mood to change. Thank you.
Thank you, Pasi. That's the second one. The third one is from, I want you to just note them down so that we can finish once and for all. Yvonne is asking, at times we have conflicts that we end up not resolving by keeping quiet and continue with life as usual. What is the danger? Then Amos Kisiangani is asking, how about our brothers and sisters in law who we stay with and support, but in turn cause or ignite conflicts in our marriages? So that one is touching about brothers and sisters in laws and relatives. Then the last one from Wycliffe Mwachi is asking, thank you, Pastor Bulimu. Kindly address the issue of gender equality and raising feminism in our current society and how it is affecting marriages. I hope, Pasi, you've gotten the questions.
Ziko mingi sana.
So I think those are the last questions I'll be picking so that we can have ample time here, our visitors to say hi to us. Pastor Caleb, I'll pick on you. I've seen your hand, but let Pastor Bulimu respond to those questions kindly. Thank you.
And Ben said even the pastors can contribute. So I'll contribute, then the other pastors can contribute. So, thank you, Clark. Ben, you talked about investing in marriage. It is good for us to do counseling. We establish our marriages on the foundation of God. We talk to the people before they get into marriage. But remember, counseling does not stop conflict. Counseling helps us know how to deal with the conflict. Like what we are doing today is not helping us to stop conflict. It is helping us to know how to deal with conflict. And I know marriage counselors know conflict resolution is part of the marriage counseling. So we should learn how to establishing our marriages well, and doing counseling and teaching our people on marriage will help them know how to deal with conflict. And as I said, we cannot be able to stop conflict in marriages. Small things trigger conflict. Very small things. Very small things will trigger conflict. The problem is not the conflict. The problem is how you handle that conflict, because we are coming from different backgrounds and we learn each other. We are learning our partners every day. You cannot say, like me, I'm now married for 21 years. I cannot say I know my partner fully. There are things that we are learning and we deal with them as we progress. I think the other pastors can contribute to that. Dealing with time. That is deal with the problem as it comes. Timing does not mean delay. If you feel you can handle it there, that is your timing. So I didn't say timing means you delay. If you feel by handling it there and then is your timing, then you go that way. But if you feel your partner is too high, that they cannot be able to respond, and they are too angry, they are too emotional, they cannot respond, maybe they are crying, maybe they are low, then please give them time to calm down, calm. After calming down, you can handle. So I didn't say time means you delay. Time means you handle it at an appropriate time. Handle that issue at an appropriate time. Thank you, Bush. There are things that you can adopt to live with. As Carol has said, was it Carol? Yes. I think so. There are things that we can, Evelyn, is it Evelyn or Carol? I can't remember, sorry for that. There are some things that we can, some conflicts that we have that they have been there until we are used to them. Now we give them a silent treatment. It is not good to give them a silent treatment. Because
that was Yvonne. That was Yvonne.
Yvonne. Sorry, Yvonne. Sorry for that. You don't give them a silent treatment. It is good for your partner to know that you are going through that and you are living with it, rather than keeping quiet. For example, we can use our worst scenario, drunkardness. If your partner is drunkard and is addicted and he comes drunkard every day, you don't give it a silent treatment. When he's sober, tell him or her that your drunkardness is not taking us well. Let them know that the problem is this, and as they know that problem, they'll know that you are living with it, although you are silent, but it's affecting you. So please, this is adaptive. It's called adaptive. You adopt perpetual. You adopt to live with that thing. But please don't live with it in silence. Let your partner know that this thing is hurting you. Let them know that you are going through this. About in-laws, I know in-laws bring conflict in the relationship, but not all, some. It is good that you know how to live with your in-laws. That's another topic on relatives and friends. It can be discussed at another level. But if you know that your in-law is not respecting your spouse, or your in-law is not respecting your children, then it's not a must you live with your in-laws, by the way. It's not a must you live with them. It is always important to understand in our marriage relationship, my spouse is number one. The other people are coming after my spouse. So if somebody is there to distract us, it is better wakanyage frame na nibaki na mke wangu na tuendelee na maisha. Lakini kama naweza kusolve your problem again, it is okay, it will be well. Mambo ya gender based inequality, hiyo nawachia Ben. Hii mambo ya gender, hii ni mambo ya sheria. Wanasema kwamba sasa wanaume ndio wanagandamizwa. Hiyo sasa mimi sijui, maana Biblia inasema sisi wote tuko sawa. No, the Bible says the man is the head of the house and the woman is a helper. Although women are saying that women are necks, but the Bible does not mention a neck. It says the woman is a helper. So a woman is an equal partner in marriage and is supposed to help the partner bring fulfillment in what they are doing. So we are supposed to know that a man is the head, the woman is the helper. We are supposed to develop all of us equally in humanity. I want to allow other pastors to respond. Pastor Nemesi is on the ground, Pastor Caleb is there.
I'll just speak on them, Pasi, shortly, but there's a burning one here from Judy Musi. I'm a pastor and I have my ministry. I'm in charge of the entire church. but my family is in destructive conflict. We keep on fighting, etc. But on Sunday, I'm on the pulpit. No church member can approach me, and I do officiate weddings. Being a spiritual father, please advise how this affects other marriages I officiate. As a wife, whom can I approach for help? It is happening in the society now.
That's a very good question. Judy is asking on behalf of all of us. I know I said even pastors don't have perfect marriages. Pastors don't have perfect partners. They struggle every day. Now, do you think the marriages that the pastor is doing are blessed? They are blessed. The marriages are blessed. But now, what will happen to the pastor? The pastor, all of us should have spiritual mentors. Spiritual mentors are people that we look up to. People that we look up to. Because as a pastor, you cannot go and share your issues with your congregation. You cannot go and share with your issues with the people that you are leading. Remember, our followers look at us and they know we are next to God. So pastors, I know even members, when they look at us, they think, huyu jamaa ametoka mbinguni leo asubuhi, ndiye amekuja kanisani. They don't imagine we are living in this world. So when you start taking your issues to your members, telling them, oh, Bwana alinichapa, oh, Bwana alifanya nini, it becomes a problem. But again, we are supposed to have wisdom. The wisdom we are supposed to have is, if you know you are hurting and you have come to a point of total hurt, you don't go to the pulpit and preach because you are cheating yourself and you are cheating the people you are preaching to and even God. So sober up, please pray, seek the face of God and find ways of solving these conflicts accordingly. But all pastors should have people that are looking up to for guidance.
Thank you. Pastor Caleb, you wanted to say something. Let me get you. Pastor Caleb, kindly unmute yourself from your end. Pastor Caleb seems a corner issue. Pastor Demesi, I saw Pastor Demesi somewhere. Kama Pastor Demesi alitoka.
Really?
Okay, Caleb.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Pastor Walter, for that good deliverance. Well, I just want to mention maybe a few things, especially regarding marriage. One, just after walking through this, we get to understand that marriage is not a bed of roses. It's a very, very difficult institution, which only requires the grace of God for us to be able to get through. So what I wanted to say is that, one, John Logedi mentioned something very, very important, and also Ben, that it's very important for us to seek intervention measures before we go any further. Many times you realize that spouses get married, but once they get married, then they forget to walk with those actually counseled them. They forget to walk with even fathers. They forget to walk with those who are supposed to help them. So the moment they do that, they begin actually to deviate from the path that they are supposed to walk. And by so doing, they allow the devil now to come in and begin to actually hit them hard. So to me, it's very important that we counsel the young spouses, those who are getting married, that it's very, very important for them to continue to work with their spiritual leaders, to continue to work with those that are supposed to help them be able actually to grow. Otherwise, if they were on their own, then they may find things to be very, very difficult. Number two, you also get to understand that I also heard Pastor Demesi preaching about youth actually doing what they're supposed to do tomorrow, doing those things now. And that's very, very dangerous, because our youth will always think that getting a wife is just maybe going to the street, like to the market, then come across a lady, then they get married to that lady. And then we've been sharing in other forums that getting a wife is actually getting a foreordained person for you, not just any Mary, Rose, or whatever. So it's very important for you to realize that it's not just maybe going to the market and looking for a lady, social joints, or whatever. You need to pray and allow you to help you seek out your rib, seek out your best actually woman who will be able to give you love. Same to the lady. Get to actually have the right man who will be able to live with you forever. Because without that compatibility, then they'll have gotten wrong right from the word go. So it's very, very important for these people to understand marriage is not just anything. It's something that you need to plan, you need to pray, you need to seek God and allow him to be able to drive you to the right person. Otherwise, marriage may not really work. So it's very, very important to actually, whatever you do, especially the young youth, the youth who are with us here, to be able to understand that don't just enter into marriage because you have come across maybe a lady along the street, maybe even in church or something. It's very important for you to seek the guidance of God. By so doing, actually, you'll have to be able to actually maybe enjoy your marriage. That is, somebody is compatible to you. Then always prayer, prayer, prayer. Marriage minus God cannot be able to work. Pastor mentioned so many things that are very, very important. If we are all believers, then we need to pray, we need to forgive, we need to actually to accommodate one another, we need to love. So with those actually kind of maybe qualities in marriage, then our marriages can always be able to last. So really, that's what I wanted to say, that marriage is not a bed of roses. Let us continue to be very, very careful. We teach even those that are coming up that let them really engage God and God be able to guide them. Thank you so much.
Asante sana, Pastor Caleb. Pastor Jen. Pastor Jen, kindly unmute yourself, Pastor Jen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pastor Walter, for the good insights on marriage. I think you've handled most of the questions. And what I can just add is that I think many conflicts in our marriages are coming because of the poor foundation, maybe in Christianity. And maybe I can advise that we help our young people, first of all, to know Christ in depth. Because if a young person goes into marriage and they are saved, I think they will have less problems. And I know in this generation we are living in liberal, our Christianity is liberal. And I'll prefer that we continue with the conservative Christianity. It saves. I know many people would not want that, but it's better that way, to be conservative Christians, so that we understand the word of God in depth, whereby in courtship or in dating, young boys, young people don't come together for sex before they are married. Yeah. So I can just say that let's go back to conservative Christianity. We are being challenged in this generation to be open to everything, but to me, no. I think this is the genesis of most of the conflicts in our marriages. And as you said, pastors or spiritual leaders should also have their mentors. You can't just be Mr. or Mrs. Know everything. You are a human being. We are all human beings, and we need other people to help us to grow. And before I enter ministry, I think first thing I have to be a true Christian, and then the call comes, and then I know how to work with people. Otherwise, if there are pastors who are doing that, preaching whatever, do we say preaching wine and taking water, and then they came to the ministry because of business and not necessarily serving God. Thank you so much.
Pastor Jen, asante sana. Maybe Pastor Walter, you have something to end before I want to invite our visitors to say jambo, then we call it close down with a word of prayer from Maxwell.
Pastor Ken is with me here, and he says, thank you so much for the teaching, Pastor Walter.
Thank you, wapi Pastor Ken? Wapi kaya aongee?
Anasema mimi ninamaliza.
Asante.
Wewe si yeye.
Yeye bwana, wewe namna gani? Wako sawa? Thank you. Asante. Thank you very much, Will Height. Thank you, Ben. I want to say this as I conclude. And I know we are talking about conflict in marriage, but generally in marriage, I want to say, number one, don't judge people on their status. Don't judge people because of their status, because you don't know what people are going through or what people went through. So you have to understand somebody's story before you judge them. Number two, let us understand that every marriage is unique. And as we build our marriages in a unique way. I want to support Pastor Jen and Pastor Mukabu about prayer and the foundation. But you know, as you know, again, life is progressive. And every time as you live with your partner, you will discover some things that you didn't know as you are coming in. So what is important is for you to understand how to handle issues as they come in, deal with them, and please develop ourselves in the right way. So let us build our marriages and support everybody in the church, whether they are married, they're not married, these are our people. We support them and we work with them because God has a reason for everything. When conflict arises, learn how to solve it, understand the type of conflict that you are in, and know how to deal with it. If it is not, you find your life is under pressure, or you are feeling threatened and you are feeling hurt, you are feeling so much pressure and you are feeling that this thing is not working, your life is in danger, then talk to your pastor. They'll give you guidance on what to do so that you don't lose your life or you don't go down emotionally. We have people who are having mental problems because of marriages. You did not go to marriage to develop mental problems. We have people who are having physical problems because of marriages. You didn't go to your marriage to be broken or to get into physical hurting. All in all, we put God ahead and God will help us. Thank you, Donholm. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, the FIC family, for joining me. And I want to thank all of us who are here. May God bless us. And I believe Pastor Jen and Pastor Caleb, you have done well to invite me to Donholm to minister to these great people. God willing, we shall continue working together as we trust in him for greater things. Thank you very much.
Asante sana Pasi. Before I hand over to Maxwell, nataka tukaribishe wageni watusalimie. I can see Yvonne. Yvonne, kindly sema jambo.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is actually not Yvonne. My name is Belinda Wafula. Just the gadget owner that is called Yvonne. I'm so happy to meet with you here today. The topic has been very timely and quite informative. And we look forward to more of such discussions. I'm sure they're going to help us to build our relationships to be strong and to learn how to live together. Thank you so much and be blessed. And remember to keep safe.
Thank you. Yvonne, you're from where?
FIC bwana, acha kuuliza sana.
I'm from FIC.
Asante sana. Thank you. Wewe Pasi nyamaza, yako imeisha.
Bado watu wangu bwana.
Clolet kind, yeah.
How are you, everybody?
Hi.
I'm Colette. Right now, I'm in a country in Wasingishu, but I've been following up the meetings. I'm from a Pipeline Village meeting, but right now I'm in Wasingishu. Thank you.
Asante sana, Clolet. Hey, Chairman Wichai Wilkins. Unmute yourself, Mkubwa Wilkins. Carry on, Wilkins. Wilkins. Bado sipati audio Wilkins. I'm not getting audio Wilkins. I can see what Donholm nitawakujia baadaye. Ferdinand is from where? Ferdinand?
Yes, I'm from Donholm.
Aha. Sema jambo.
Jambo, nimefurahia mkutano. Nimejifunza mambo mengi sana. Nasema ni asante kwa pastor kwa kutupatia hayo mawazo.
Asante sana Fadi. Our very own Christopher Mugoha naona audio yake haikuja sawa sawa. I've seen Chairman. Chairman, unmute yourself now, say Jambo Wilkins. Kindly, Chairman, your audio sipati. Oh, it's okay. Maybe I'll get him. Baadaye, Yvonne Kasira. I saw Yvonne Kasira. That's from Donholm. Sema Jambo. Yvonne.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Thank you, Pastor Walter. This has been a very nice session. I think I've learned a lot and will continue working on our marriage and solving our conflicts. Thank you.
Asante sana Yvonne. If you don't know, Yvonne is Muisuha. Mwena ono Muisuha typical. Amos kisiangani. Dika serio mwami. Amos kisiangani.
Unasemaje? Tutakunyang'anya bibi wewe. I just want to thank Pastor Walter for the powerful message that he has passed across, and it is very informative that we have conflicts in our marriages, and this is just a step of how we can go about with them. Asante sana.
Thank you sana Amos. Wycliffe Mwachi. Wycliffe Mwachi.
Yes.
Kindly.
Thank you, Pastor Bulimo, for the good guidance. I've learned a lot. It's very much encouraging. The best thing I've got is that conflicts are there, but we must just learn to solve them as we live on. Thank you.
Asante sana Wycliffe. That is very nice. Judy Musi.
I just want to say thank you so much, Pastor Walter. This is the message for the season, especially during this time of COVID-19. This is the message for the season. Thank you. Thank you.
Asante sana, Ma'am Judy. Harrison Kayasi, my friend.
Hello.
Jambo sana,
Praise
Harrison.
God.
Amen.
Yeah, I'm happy to join you today. Thank you for the wonderful session, and Pastor, thank you for the wonderful teachings. I believe they'll help us solve conflict whenever they come. Thank you, and God bless Friends Church Donholm.
Asante sana, Harrison. Harrison is from Makadara Friends Church and is also the secretary YFP Young Friends Program in Kenya. That is Harrison for us. Mama Margaret Simiyu.
I just want to thank Pastor Walter. This has been quite wonderful and informative session. I, for one, has learned a lot. And I think we should have more of these sessions in the future so that we can help our marriages to stand on strong grounds. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Asante sana, ma'am. I think Josephine, kindly Josephine, can you unmute yourself? You can hear me. Thank you. Josephine?
Just want to say, yes.
Asema.
I just want to say thank you to Pastor Walter for the wonderful topic that he has given us. It has really blessed me, and I believe it has blessed all of us. Thank you.
Asante sana, Josephine. That's very good. Finally, Dr. John Logedi, you asked a question, but you can say Jambo.
Okay. Jambo to everyone. Thank
Jambo.
you, Pastor Walter. I think the session was very nice, and we have to continue with such sessions and maybe many other sessions. So thank you, the leadership of Donholm Friends Church, for organizing these sessions, and I hope we shall continue even as we continue dealing with these COVID issues. Thank you.
Asante sana, Daktari. I've seen Ma'am Jane Harvey.
Yes.
Yeah, sema jambo. Uliuliza swali, but sasa sema jambo.
Jambo wote.
Atu jambo.
As for me, I'm so happy hata nawasikilia wivu kidogo kwa sababu pastor amewaambia mengi, mengine hajatuambia, but we hope atatuletea nyumbani. We thank you for organizing for the session. May God bless all of us. I'm blessed. Thank you.
Asante sana Ma'am Jane Harvey. There is an ITEL A14S. Kindly sema jambo na utuambie wewe ni nani. ITEL A14S.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Caroline Semo, Nairobi monthly meeting. Thank you, Pastor Walter, for a wonderful job. God bless you so much.
Asante sana, asante sana. I would like to inform us before I welcome Ben, then Maxwell, then they'll invite a pastor to close. I would like to inform us that the notes, I have them. I'll be sharing them to you online, and also the audio. We recorded the audio, so I'll be sharing. If you're interested, hit my inbox. I'll share with you also the audio. So Ben Simiyu, then welcome Maxwell, and then Pasi.
Well, I think we are through, eh?
Okay, sawa.
What I just want to say that I don't know why Pastor Jen declined to have Pastor Ken talk. Huh? I hope that's not a conflict for Walter to deal with. And I'll be happy to hear my brother Ken say a word. Maxwell, this is a program. Over to you. Asanteni.
Thank you very much. I will invite Pastor Jen, if you are audible, please close for us with the word of prayer.
Ama alete Pastor Ken afunge, so that Ben is settled in the mind, kindly. Max, yes, to your order. Pastor Ken aombe. Max.
Okay, order amesikia. Pastor Ken, are you here?
Ndio huyo analetwa, wacha aletwe. Ndio Ben akuwe na amani. Pastor Jen, kindly unmute your phone. Safi.
Nani hana usingizi?
Karibu Pastor Ken.
Okay, thank you so much. I was just around. Listening. I want to say, Pastor Walter, thank you so much for that elaborate speech. As a couple, we are happy. Thank you so much. Let me now end this as we pray. Let us pray. Our dear Lord and Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening with thanksgiving in our hearts. We thank you for allowing us to share this topic on conflict in our marriages. Lord, we want to thank you for leading us. We want to thank you for having a time with us. Thank you for every other person who has prayed. We believe, Lord, that you are going to spare other time for us. But as we come out with some topics of how we pray, that you are going to help us share on the heart of the we thank you and we worship you. Thank you, Lord, having us upon this system. We ask for the favor again upon us in the name of the Father, of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Lord, we
Amen. Amen. Max?
Yeah. Sawa.
Funga sasa twende.
I think tumemaliza mkutano. God bless all of you. Thank you for joining us. Karibuni tena next Sunday at 3 p.m. We usually have this every Sunday. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you so much.